Hi, welcome to my first ever screencast. I'm brand new to the idea of a PLN, so I first glanced at a few websites that discuss some great ways to start my own. This website started out with a great step-by-step process, moving all the way to step 10, making connections, which I think obviously is the goal of the PLN, but also is the most challenging part. I'm slowly making my way through the steps, but of course it takes time. I also found Jennifer Lagarde's video, Dynamic Landscapes, to be very helpful. And from what she said, I came up with 3 categories of development for my own PLN. These categories to me were the passive learner, the assertive interactive learner, and the sharing learner. For myself, I'm building from the first phase of my PLN, the passive learning phase. I learn a lot from others via social media and blogs. However, I have not been interactive or share conscious as I could be with my own resources. I did, however, have a place to start with Pinterest. I've been on Pinterest for a few years now, and I find it a great place to store new teaching ideas, and the visual aspect helps to remind me why I pinned that bookmark. Most of my pins are focused in art, reading, and writing, and I found a great network of teachers that commonly share in the ideas I'm interested in. I also pin regular school ideas that just help me to create a better classroom, math ideas, and science ideas. The next step to building my PLN was to begin an RSS feed. I have read about RSS feeds for a while now, but I was never too sure on how to use them. After Jennifer Lagarde mentioned them in her keynote, it made it clear how easy they were to start them up. And now they might use them on a daily basis. So this one is from Feedly, and I've split it up into several different categories. So if I go to home, I have classroom ideas, education, just generally, PBL, so project-based learning. And I found that as I was doing a course on project-based learning, I could just add some websites into this, which was really helpful. I also have the Web 2.0 classroom in here, and I find splitting them up like this to be very helpful in keeping them organized. To begin to consider blogs and sites that I wanted to follow, I mined some of the people I follow on Pinterest and then added them to my RSS feed. I've spent a long time in the passive learning phase, I must say. I view this as sort of being the shy student, listening, reading, observing, and then stealing great ideas and making them my own, but not necessarily interacting with others. In moving towards a second phase of the PLN, I'm moving into a more interactive place in my learning, and thus I've started a Twitter account. I suppose I resisted the Twitter machine for a while, and I can't really explain why. Perhaps it seemed like a long list of status updates I could care less about, but now I see it as an instantaneous connection point to the world. It's funny, I've set up a Twitter account for my classroom to try, but never for myself. I'll soon be setting one up for my students this year as well. As I kick off some of my long-term projects, giving students access to other learners, professionals, and students can build an authentic foundation for their study. I can see how that access allows students to feel more engaged and control of their learning as well. So why not for myself? For me as a teacher, I need to be more brave and bold in beginning to build connections via Twitter. I know that this is a great way to connect to students and teachers and other professionals, not only passively, but in a more interactive way as well. In terms of the last bit of learning, this mostly just happens between me and some of my friends and colleagues. I understand that I need to share my classroom ideas more readily with others, but it can be a daunting task to put yourself out there. I have, however, created blogs for my classroom for the last 4 years, and I have never considered creating one as a teacher. My next plan is to build a blog that showcases some of the work and conversations we have in the classroom and includes some of the excellent work my students complete every day. Most importantly, I would like to take time to make that a blog that is accessible to other teachers via Twitter and other media. This blog that we created is a writing blog, so they all write, and then I can easily private message them some remarks, but they can also get feedback from each other. So I'm creating the community in the classroom. Now I need to move it out towards the world. Through these initial stages of building my own PLN, I've had a chance to reflect on the importance of sharing my work. I'm so thankful for all of the other teachers who bravely share their work all the time, and I'm feeling less terrified of sharing my own classroom practices too. A PLN is a great way to grow professionally, and I realize it's a work in progress rather than an end product. But I know it will be so helpful in staying current in promoting educational change and staying current with other teaching practices. Thank you for listening.